Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Two Players Podcast, episode 72. We're going to talk about the news, games we've been playing recently, and then the second part of the Spider-Man DLC, The City That Never Sleeps. So first up, we got Pokemon Detective Pikachu. The trailer came out, and there were a lot of mixed opinions on it. Personally, I found it really weird as to like how much realistic they try to make the Pokemon look.
Yeah, like I feel like some of them look. It's hard to say because I know they try to go for like a more realistic approach and are not like supposed to look that appealing. Like they're supposed to look like monsters because that's what they are. Mm-hmm. But I feel like for some, like, I don't know if I really like Charizard's design too much. Like he seems like too. It looks like he has fur on him. Like I know it's supposed to be like scales and stuff, but it just looks weird. Who else looks like Pikachu himself? People are saying like he looks cute, and like he looks kind of creepy to me. Like he kind of looks like just a toy coming to life, and I don't know how I feel about that. But overall, I think they nailed some of the. Like, I thought Mr. Mime, like that's how he would look like if he was in real life, basically.
Yeah.
Jigglypuff dude. So.
Yeah, definitely, because how are you gonna get that like swirl thing without Jigglypuff being somewhat furry or whatever? But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited for the movie because the cast they have here. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu is definitely like a interesting take on the character.
Yeah.
And then the main kid, I forget his name, but I've seen him in other movies and stuff like that. But the overall, just like, I mean, Pokemon being realistic and all this other stuff. I think it would have worked if like they just did like CGI, but like made them look like how they did in the games. I think that would have still worked.
I just I guess it's going for a more like detective-y, like noir-y thing anyway, so they're not supposed to look that cute. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, I guess it fits for something like this. Overall, I'm actually like kind of like looking forward to it. Like I didn't think I would, but it actually doesn't look too bad. The trailer was pretty okay, so
yeah.
I'm just curious about it. I don't know if it's gonna be great or not, but it does got my attention at least.
Mm-hmm. Definitely did not give off a wrong impression at first. So
no. All right, so another trailer that came out was Toy Story 4. It didn't really tell us a whole lot. It was just a teaser. All it did was show like all the Toy Story characters like in a circle doing stuff, and then just showed off a new character that's basically just like a spork with like those I forgot what you call those things. Those like tape. What do you call the pipe cleaners? Pipe whatever.
Yeah.
That. Yeah, and then he just there you go. That was the end of that.
Am I a toy? I think that's what the movie's gonna be about. Is like, what is a toy actually? Sort of thing.
Like you know how kids like do sometimes make up their own toy, like just like play with a pen or something.
Yeah.
So I guess it's gonna go into something like that.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's necessary.
What, Toy Story 4? Like as a whole?
Yeah. I feel like 3 was a pretty good end to that. Like we didn't really need another one after that. And I feel like now they're just doing one just to make money. I don't know. I don't feel too good about it.
Yeah, I can see your point. Like my brother, he was like, "Are they just making this for money?" I was like, "Yes and no," because like Toy Story, it's easy to make money because it's literally a movie about toys. So you just re-release the toys again, and then on top of that, I'm pretty sure this is still gonna be a good movie because I know that some of the voice actors they had like a hard time recording some of the lines because of like how, I guess, deep Pixar's going in. Yeah.
So I just feel like they keep making like sequels that aren't like not necessary or like just don't add anything. Like Finding Dory or like Incredibles. Like it just doesn't feel like that was really needed. Like it's just there, Like it didn't really feel like it pushed anything or it didn't move any of the characters in any way. It was just there to be there. I don't know. Like I feel like Toy Story 4 is going to follow that same pattern where it's just very samey or like just too safe and like it just. I don't know. I feel like Pixar, when they make sequels, are not on their A game like they are when they make like just a new thing. So yeah, I don't know about this one.
I definitely feel that with Finding Dory because when I watched that, I was like, well, it just felt like a Finding Nemo sequel, but didn't really do anything.
Yeah, they just do the same thing. I was just like, I don't want to see that again. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so a bit of sad news if you haven't heard already, but Stan Lee, the pretty much face of Marvel Comics for a lot of these years, he has unfortunately passed away. And I'm not gonna sob over his death or anything like that because I didn't know the guy, but it definitely sucks that one of the most influential people in, like, I would say pop culture in general today is now gone.
Yeah, it is very sad. I mean, he did live a full life. That was like 95. You know, he got to see like almost like most of his comics get turned into these huge blockbusters and stuff like that. And you know, he finally saw like Marvel like becomes just like this huge thing. Like I think it was fine. Like, I think he lived a full life, and I think he was pretty happy. And it's fine to be sad, but I think he was pretty happy how things turned out for him. But yeah, it is still sad that we won't see any more of his cameos and things like that. Because, you know, he did make some of the best heroes, all the Marvel heroes, so.
Yeah. I know that there's, like, a lot of news articles out there that try to, like, go into, like, his past and how, like, he took too much credit and, you know, he didn't give enough to, like, Jack Kirby or, like, Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, I mean, someone had to, I guess, take the forefront. Obviously, that's a flaw in his character for not, you know, crediting those who need to be credited as much. But, I mean, what can you do now? So.
Yeah, I mean, like, that usually happens when someone dies. Like, they try to, like, make it, like, you know, villainize them a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
Like, try to, like, stain their legacy in a way.
Yeah, I mean, unless they did something really bad, then it just looks a little, like unnecessary. Like, just, like, you know, let him rest, you know? Like, yeah. At that point, like, it's not like he, like, murdered someone. Like, you know, like, he might have, like, been a little bit of a jerk a little bit when taking some credit for things. But I'm sure that they worked things out or something, you know? Like, it just, like, you know, just, like, he just passed away. No need to, like, spit on his grave yet.
Not yet.
All right. So a couple ordered to pay Nintendo $12 million for running illegal ROM sites. So Nintendo has been demolishing a lot of ROM sites. Like they took down one I used a lot, which was Cool ROM. No, not Cool ROMs. What was it called? Emo Paradise, I think, was the one I used.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one got wrecked because like one of the last really good ones that I could use without like no, because Cool ROMs got destroyed. Like it was like even before Nintendo took it down, it was pretty good, but it just started being filled with like a bunch of viruses. I'm like, oh no, what happened to this website? So then I moved to Emu Paradise, and then it was pretty good, and then Nintendo took it down. And it's just like I don't see the point.
Yeah.
For like older games, you know, like if it's I know now they're reselling, you know, the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic, but it's just like just let them do it. Like it's not like you're ever gonna release some of these games on your Switch. Like, you know, you're not gonna put a virtual console, so you might as well have emulation. And you know, these games are already like 30 years old or 20 years old and stuff like that. Like it's I think it should be time to like preserve them and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, it's just that 12 million. Jesus Christ, Nintendo! Like that's so brutal for like a ROM site. Obviously, they weren't supposed to be doing that, but for 12 million, you pretty much just sent them like a death sentence in a way. Because like how are they actually gonna be able to pay this?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
So like, why even like do this onto a couple like this? I get it, you know, they want to protect their IPs, they want to protect their properties, this and that, but at the same time, Nintendo, like you said, is not making it easy for consumers to access their old games. There's no virtual console. There's, you know, like the Nintendo Online thing. It's only NES games right now, and in order to even access those games, you have to like be active for a number of times during the week or something like that. It's just really weird that they just were like, all right, 12 million. Like, what?
Yeah, it's just like, first off, it just seems like too much. Like, it's too harsh of a thing right there. And second off, is like, just like, make a way. Like, I would pay for like to buy a thing legally if you make it like easily available. Like, just like put Virtual Console back. Like, I just don't get it. Like, maybe they want to add more things to the subscription. Like, maybe eventually we get Super NES games, but that's not there yet. So just like, either make a legal way to buy it or to buy your games, or just like don't take down these ROM sites, because it's like the only way we could really play these things without buying like the actual cartridge that would probably cost a lot of money. So, and it's not even going to Nintendo; it's like going to some other person. So like it really doesn't matter. So I really don't understand why they keep taking down these ROM sites.
Especially, you know, 12 million. Oh my god, like that's like That's like the big thing over this. Like if it
That's
was
what I'm
like
saying.
if it was like maybe 1 mil, like I'm like, okay, like that's obviously like still a lot of money, but it's a little bit more reasonable than 12, you know.
Yeah, 12 million is just like way too much, man. Like it's just like, it just seems way too overkill for this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This sort of thing, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there are actually no current plans for a N64 Classic, according to Reggie Fils-Aimé. I'm still skeptical, to be honest. I feel like he might be trolling, but
I mean, I sort of am too, but it depends on like Rare, because Rare had a lot of the N64 games that would make people buy, like Banjo and Conquer and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong 64 as well. Like, you know, like it's just those are some big games Rare made for the N64. So I feel like maybe if they can't work something out with Rare, they probably just won't do it. Because currently, if they made an N64 Classic, they would still have some stuff. They have Mario 64. They'll probably put one Zelda. They probably won't put two. So probably just Ocarina of Time, Star Fox, and like Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Mario Party.
One of the Mario Parties.
Yeah, something like that.
And I cannot think of more.
A majority of the N64 library, when you think of it, like GoldenEye,
that's like third party.
Donkey Kong 64, yeah, like it's a lot of third party stuff, and those came from Rare. So how exactly is Nintendo going to make an agreement with Rare to put their games onto a console like this? So they're probably still working out the details with them, or they just don't plan on doing it right now. So it's really all up in the air, in my opinion, when it comes to something like this, especially when Reggie's like, yeah, we have no plans for it right now. It's kind of like, oh okay. We thought it would actually come out sometime this year, but
I feel like it's gonna happen. Like I just feel like it is gonna happen. Mostly with the PlayStation Classic coming out, I feel like an N64 Classic would be like right at home right now. So I feel like they'll do it by next year. I don't feel like it's that hard to make one. So
it would kind of like make no sense for them to make one, because like PlayStation's up there now. So now PlayStation's trying to do this. So is Nintendo just gonna back down and be like, all right, you can have the holiday season with this, micro console of yours, where it is not gonna release ours, despite us starting this whole micro console sort of thing? It would just be a little weird, but who knows? He could be telling the truth, or he could just be lying out of his ass.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see something. So if you like the N64, don't worry. We're definitely gonna get one at some point.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so now we got the big news. PlayStation is going to be skipping E3 next year.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a big one. They're just not going to be there. There's not a good. So people, I don't know if it's like official yet, but I don't know if they're either making their own event or they just have nothing. Like I really don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
Like some people speculated, like the games coming out that are coming out, like Last of Us 2 or Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Dreams, and like that's it. That's it. Death Stranding, I guess, but that's not really an exclusive, I don't think. It's just like I just don't think they have enough for an E3, and maybe they just didn't want to spend the money on it, because I know E3 is very expensive, so they'd rather just like do something else. Maybe they might make their own small little thing.
Yeah,
but
like
again,
just do the PlayStation experience again.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, I mean, they canceled the PS experience this year too, right? That was the...
Yeah, so they canceled the one for this year.
I just think they don't have anything really. Like, they've already won like the console generation. I mean, like Xbox and Microsoft. Like, Microsoft just has nothing really. So I think PlayStation doesn't feel too threatened right now. Like, Sony's just like, we really don't have to do an E3 to like win people over. Like, people just buy our things anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I'm speculating. Like, I really don't know. But my guess is like they don't really have much to show until the PS5 comes out.
Yeah, something like that. I definitely agree with a lot of your points there. Like, what are they doing here? They're legit skipping the biggest gaming event of the year. So what are they going to do now? They might just do the PSX again, or they might just skip that entirely and just go dark for a while, which would not be a good idea. But they could do that and just save all their money and resources and just keep working on their games, and then when they do come out, they'll blow people out of the water. But on top of that, what I'm thinking is that what is Nintendo and Microsoft going to do? Because now they're the only two big companies at E3 for 2019. So like, is Nintendo going to come back and do like the whole press conference thing? I doubt it. But
I don't think so, no.
But like, are they going to do like, are they just going to showcase a bunch of big games? Are they going to have a lot of games there for demo? Because now there's a lot of space open there at the venue. Mm-hmm. And for Microsoft, I think Microsoft, like, this is like a big opportunity for them to come out and, have a hard swing at Sony, kick them while they're down in a way, despite them, bringing themselves down to this point. But, yeah, Microsoft definitely has a advantage here in a way, depending on how they use it. They could obviously just do nothing with it, but it would just be really dumb if they did nothing with it. So
yeah, I agree with that. Like, I feel like it'll be dumb if the other two don't take advantage of this. Mostly Microsoft. Like, I think this is like the year for Microsoft to really like get a bunch of like press and stuff like that, because Sony is just not going to show up. So I don't think they're going to show the Xbox 2, or whatever they're going to call it. I don't think this is the E3 for that. I think 2020 might be. But maybe it is. I don't know. Like, I feel like Microsoft could really make it happen next E3, because Sony just won't be there. So there'll be like a lot more people pay attention to them. So we just got to wait and see, I guess. Yeah. And I don't know who's going to take their time slot. Like, I don't know if it's just going to be open now. But yeah, that's just left open now. So. Mm-hmm. They might just move things like up, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's still all up in the air, in my opinion. Yeah. So, all right. So the final piece of news we got here is Activision defends Spyro the Reignited Trilogy lacking subtitles, and they say that it is not a industry standard, which is a little weird, because it kind of is. It's sort of like an unspoken rule in a way.
Yeah, like, when was the last game you played that didn't have subtitles? I cannot think of one that was, like, from the past generation of games. Even, like, during the PlayStation 2 days, like, there was just, everything had subtitles. So I really don't know where they got this idea from, where it was not a standard. Like, it kind of is. It might not be written anywhere, but it's, like, it's kind of, like, considerate for a lot of people, you know? Mm-hmm. Again, I know it takes, it's Activision. They have the money, probably, for localization and things like that. But they probably just didn't want to. It's just very weird. Like, it just seems cheap. Like, just didn't want to spend money on the localization. And it just seems something very easy to be fixed with a patch, like, later on. But I don't even know if they're gonna do that. It just seemed like, nah, we're fine. We don't want to spend any more money on this, so we're good.
I think they are going to release like some sort of like update with subtitles in the future. I'm pretty sure they're just working on it right now, but in my opinion, just from like seeing everything as to like what people are talking about, I feel like the Spyro Reignited trilogy was just rushed as a whole, and this was just like the main thing that got hit on the most, because I feel like, as myself, I love using subtitles when I'm watching a movie or even playing a game. Like, I have those on just in case, someone walks in the room and I still want to know and see what they're talking about. And also, it just helps for me just to, like, make sure that I heard that right or read that right in a way. So, yeah, if I played Spyro at launch, I definitely would have noticed this and been like, what the hell? Like, why are there no subtitles?
Yeah, it just seems like something so, like, basic that they just didn't want to do just to save some money. And it just comes off as cheap and, like, very Activision-y, so... Yeah, that I don't know. It's just like, that's just a weird hill to die on. Just like, oh, no subtitles. It's like, all right, Activision, sure, whatever you want.
It's like, why? It's because it's not an industry standard, but it kind of is in a way. It
kind of is.
So, but we'll see as the story kind of develops. So let's get into games we've been playing recently. I got a couple of things, as you can see in the doc, but I'll let you go first. So.
Yeah, so I've been playing Warframe because it's great, and they did the new update like I talked about last time. I didn't really play it though. Now I have. The open world stuff in Warframe is really fun. Basically just adds another element of more grind. I mean that's what the game is, it's just grinding and just like, it's just something you listen to a podcast to and just like relax. And it helps with like the whole fishing and mining you could do in these open world stuff. besides that, I think they did fix a lot of improvements from the last open world they did last year. Like for one, this one does run a lot better on my computer. I did do a lot of optimization with the previous one, but I feel like this one just worked right off the get-go. And a lot of the like little side missions you could do in the open worlds don't feel as tedious. Like it seems to be a lot more variety in the missions that you could do in the open world. And you have a hoverboard, so that's cool. Besides that, I've just been playing Warframe because it's fun. There's not too much to talk about. Where you shoot boys and you get weapons and stuff. It's great.
Get loot.
Get loot. That's basically what you get. But the more interesting one that I totally forgot to talk about last time because it just blanked out my mind for some reason was Deltarune, which is Undertale 2, basically. So basically, Toby, the guy who made Undertale, said this was just a demo, basically, for Chapter 1. And he said this is what he's been working on for, like, the past, like, few years, ever since Undertale was created. And he said this is the only thing he has made. Like, he has no other...
Oh, shit.
Like he only made this one demo piece. Like, there's nothing else done in the game. So he says it's going to take a really long time for the actual full game to come out. And he might ask for, like, publishers to, like, maybe help him out and get a team and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure he's sorted because Undertale is so, like, crazy. So he's not going to have a problem finding a team. But anyway, Deltarune is basically just Undertale 2. It takes a lot of things from Undertale and just improves them gameplay-wise. Like, I always like the writing and characters of Undertale, and that's basically the same thing in this game, where the writing and humor are very much the same as Undertale 1. But they fix a lot of the gameplay elements, because in Undertale 1, the gameplay was kind of non-existent. Like, you kind of, like, go into a battle, you could either fight, which is basically just one button, you hit fight, and then, like, you know, your character just killed the dude, and that's it. Or you could do the act system, where you could, like, do a peaceful resolution, but it's like a little mini... puzzle to find out what they like and don't like and stuff like that. And this game is a lot more like an actual RPG where you have 3 party members and you do some cool mechanics where if you block, you get a TP, which is basically like mana. So every time you block, your TP gauge will raise, and then you can use that to like heal or do some other cool like pacifist type things. So I think it just makes the combat just way more fun and like more engaging. Because it doesn't make like every fight feel the same. Because in Undertale 1, once you know a pattern to an enemy and you know how to pacify it, it's very simple. Like, it gets very, very tedious when there's a lot of monsters at once. In this game, it feels like the combat is a lot more varied. You know, monsters have different types to them, so it'll be like you have one monster and then you have another one. In Undertale 1, it's mostly just like one at a time and stuff like that. So it's cool that there's like more than one enemy at a time. And yeah, they basically just improve the combat a lot, and I like it a lot. It's a lot more of a traditional RPG where you could just have a lot more actions to do at once, and the 3 party members help a lot and make it more fun and complex, because the first one was very simplified. Besides that, the music's also really good, story and characters really good, and yeah, it's basically just more Undertale with improved gameplay mechanics, which I think is what Undertale really needed. It was kind of my main complaint. Mostly we did a genocide run in Undertale 1 because it was mostly just like spamming fight and then that's it. Like, there was like no strategy to it. You just spam fight and then the game makes you feel bad. And this one, you know, at least there's a little more mechanics to it, and it does feel a lot better to play. So yeah, I'm looking really forward to more of this if he decides to actually finish it. Hopefully he can find a team so this game could come out in the next like 5 years, because it'll set to wait another like 5. So so oh yeah, also I watched Incredibles 2. Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. I watched it yesterday, and I thought it was okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like, again, it was like what I was talking about before with Pixar stuff, where they just feel the same. Like, this one just feels like sort of an opposite of the first one, where it's like instead of Mr. Incredible getting the job offer, it's now it's Elastigirl, and then they did like the whole twist and things like that and stuff like that, and they did this. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt very samey. But it didn't feel very like grand in the same way. Like, I feel like the villain sucked. Like, I don't want to get into too much spoilers just in case. Okay. But yeah, I feel like Screenslaver was just like bad. Like, the motivation behind the villain was just so stupid that I'm like, really? And obviously the twist, you can see like literally the first moment that these characters show up. I'm like, well, there you go. That's gonna be that. At least with Syndrome, like, I thought all his philosophies and stuff make sense. You know, I thought it was a cool way to make like the boy wonder into like the bad guy or whatever like that, and he was like actually threatening. And this one, it just felt, I don't know, it felt like too samey and too clean.
Screenslaver.
Yeah, Screenslaver was just I felt like they could have done cooler things with it, but they just didn't. Also, the climax kind of sucked. Like, it was just like, it's just like you have a giant robot in the first one. That didn't legalize heroes, but doing what they did in this one did. I'm like, really? Like, that was just such, like, if that thing did what it did, only like 4 buildings would have been destroyed. Like, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. With a giant robot, you could literally destroy the whole city. But I guess that wasn't enough to legalize heroes, but whatever.
No.
Overall, I thought it was fine. Like, the jokes were still funny. I really liked the family stuff, but I felt like the hero stuff was a little underwhelming in this. Animation was fantastic, though. It was great. So, yeah. There you go. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, it's been a while since I watched that movie. But
yeah, no, that came out a while ago. I heard reviews and I just heard, like, it was okay. I'll just wait until it comes out eventually, and I'll finally watch it. So, there you go.
All right. Well, I got a couple things I want to talk about. So, one thing I forgot to talk about last week, The Flash Season 4. I've watched that on Netflix. It was okay. Nothing could ever, like, live up to, like, the first 2 seasons, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 was just god-awful, terrible. I was just like, what the hell's going on, like, half the time. But Season 4, it was actually, like, picking up, like, during the first half, but since because CW orders, like, 23 episodes every season, it's kind of like they have to drag certain things out for no reason. And that's kind of what happened with this season, I felt. But once it does start, like, picking up at certain points, I'm like, okay, I'm into it. But, you know, like, the whole, like, conclusion of the season, I was just like, all right, well, they just setting up for Season 5, which is going on right now. And I have no idea what's going on there, but there's that. In other TV, Walking Dead, I'm currently all caught up. Next episode is the mid-season finale. All right, so I'm going to talk about spoilers to those that care or don't care. Mm-hmm. So they did a 6-year gap, as you may or may not know.
Yeah.
So after Andrew Lincoln left the show, they did this whole 6-year gap and everything like that. And my problem with this 6-year gap is that, like, no one died. So, like, no, like, other major actor left the show, which is awfully strange because, you know, like, people die all the time in the show, you know, like, whether it's
wasn't
like
the show, like, the whole events only took place, like, in, like, 2 years or something like that. Like, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
So now we're doing, like, a whole 6-year gap and no one died. Yeah, that seems weird.
Yeah, like, that sort of thing. Like, that's what really upset me because I'm like, it's been 6 years and no one died. Like, nothing happened between then other than, you know, Rick Grimes supposedly being dead. So that was, like, my first major complaint. And then my second major complaint was that, like, when they show all these characters 6 years later, they all just have more hair. Or they legit just look the same. I'm like, this is not how you do a 6-year jump sort of thing. And it just felt really messy and kind of rushed. And, like, some of the new characters are good, to be honest, but I'm like, they're just gonna die eventually, which really sucks. And that's how, like, most new characters sort of act, like, because I can't remember the last time we've actually had a new character on the show and, like, last for a while other than, like,
that one dude, the gay guy, right? Didn't he last for a while?
Yeah, he's still in the show.
Yeah,
but, like, I think after that, there's been, like, no one. But the guy who Carl saved, obviously he's still alive because he's a doctor, and they had to keep him alive because that's the only reason why Carl died. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, what's going on?
I felt like the only reason they did that was just to make Judith grow up, because then she's like, how old is she now? The baby?
Yeah, she's like, I don't even know, but she's old enough to also. Oh my God, Michonne and Rick had a child, and I did not even know that.
Oh, no, really? What?
Yeah, so like when they do, like, the first 6-year jump sort of thing, they show, like, this black kid, and I'm like, oh, okay, they probably just found him somewhere. But no, that's supposedly Michonne and Rick's kid, and I'm like, so you're telling me if Andrew Lincoln ever comes back or whatever within these movies or what have you, if he finds out that he has a kid, like, what's like how is this all going to pan out, like, in the big picture sort of thing?
This all just sounds like bad fan fiction now. Like, it's just like it just doesn't sound good.
But they are introducing the Whisperers, so, like, they're, like, the next, like, big threat that the group's gonna face off, and they pretty much, like, they blend themselves in with hordes of zombies.
Okay.
So that's very interesting and very creepy. So I really do like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But like there was like a whole like plot with like Michonne and like not wanting to bring these new people in, but like they don't explain why. It's sort of like, all right, Rick died, so why are you so like not trusting of these people? Did something happen between, you know, Alexandria, the Hilltop, and the Kingdom that we don't know about? Like that, honestly, they should have like showed off like this sort of like civil war happened between those three groups after Rick went away, because he was kind of like the glue that kept everyone together. But after he died, supposedly, it's sort of like they could have had like this whole plot with the Civil War thing go on. But obviously that didn't happen. They sort of just did the 6-year gap with everyone having more hair, and Judith just grew up. So I don't know. I'm feeling very iffy on the show right now, and I felt like they should have just done this 6-year gap at the midseason, like after the midseason finale, because I would have made more sense. But they just had to do it because Andrew Lincoln was like, oh, I'm done with this show. All right, get me out.
Yeah, so, I don't want to do this anymore.
But there's my bi-weekly Walking Dead rant. I've been watching The Office. That's still a really funny show. Life is Strange came out with a comic book, the first issue. No spoilers for you, good sir, but I liked it. There were certain points that I was a little confused on, but I liked it.
Wait, but where does it take place again? Is like
so like it's like a alternate sort of timeline where like Max chooses Chloe over Arcadia Bay, and now you see the adventures after that. So, but there were certain points in the comic that I was like, wait, what's going on again? And then I had to like go back and read certain parts again. But I think you'll like it, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's only the first issue. I think it's gonna be 4 to 5 issues, something like that. So it's gonna be like a miniseries sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So movies. I watched Creed the other night because Creed 2 came out. Creed is actually really good. I've never watched a Rocky movie. Kill me if you want.
I think I watched the first one like a really long time ago.
But yeah, Creed is actually pretty good. You know, Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, and Tessa Thompson, I believe, is her name. So yeah, really good cast. Really did enjoy it. I can't wait to go and watch the sequel, Overlord. That is a action movie based in, I believe, World War II. But it also features like sort of like Nazi zombies in a way, sort of thing, like
What?
Experiments. Yeah, like it's honestly like it's a really like bad shit insane movie, but I really liked it. Like it was just like a fun, good time sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just seeing like people get blown up, limbs everywhere, blood, that sort of thing. So, and then I saw Wreck-It Ralph 2 yesterday.
How was it?
That was actually a really good Pixar movie. Like it's not as predictable.
It's not Pixar. It's just Disney.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
All right. Well, Wreck-It Ralph 2, it's not as predictable as previous animation movies from Disney recently, like The Incredibles or even Coco. I really liked it. It is, all about the internet. Ralph breaks the internet.
Memes?
So
Does that memes, dude?
does that memes? There's actually, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a whole thing that they do with that around internet sensation.
Oh boy.
But
Okay.
it's pretty good. I really did like it. There were,
Good.
a couple of jokes in there that really got me. So, but also some moments at the end of the movie that really got me in the,
The
tears.
feels?
Yeah.
They always
I
gotta
did
do that.
I did not sign up for this feels trip in a way.
They
So,
always do that. you gotta
I know,
get
right?
that feel. You gotta get that gut punch. Yeah.
my God, but yeah. So there's everything that I've been playing, watching. But now we gotta talk about Spider-Man DLC Part 2. So this is all spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled by The City That Never Sleeps, The Heist Chapter 2, leave the podcast now. So what'd you think about the overall story, I guess?
I liked it. I don't think it was as strong as the first one, but I think it was still good. It was nice to get some sort of background on Yuri, the cop friend that helps you out.
Yeah.
And more stuff on the whole gangs and stuff like that, and Hammerhead himself. But overall, I did think it was a bit weaker than the first one. I don't know. I maybe because I like Black Cat more in this universe, I guess. I don't know. It just seemed very straightforward.
All right, yeah, but I agree with you. So like Black Cat, like that whole like first chapter was very interesting because they actually went into detail as to like, you know, their past relationship and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. With this one, it kind of felt a little rushed in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like they legit went from Yuri being a good cop to the end she like kills,
Literally,
quote
okay.
unquote. Yeah.
She literally murdered like a whole bar full of like really tough dudes. I'm like, all right, that's a little much there, girl. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know about
like
that one.
she went from this to this in like an instant, which
Yeah.
obviously when you lose like your whole team right in front of you, that will do something to your head.
Yeah.
But she's been what, a cop for how many years? We're not entirely sure, but she's been doing this for a while to know Spider-Man and work with him as close as she is, right? So
Yeah.
like for her to just, you know, do a whole 180 instantly just because she lost all of these, you know, her teammates. But on top of that, I feel like it's also because like these side missions, they allude to her dealing with the Magia for like a long time. Like she pretty much built her career off of dealing with these people.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've come back, maybe that had to do something with that. But they don't really go into a lot of it. It's mainly just like Spider-Man running around trying to figure this out himself in a way.
Yeah. Like I felt like it could have gone more into her stuff. Like I also felt like, you know, there might be some people that just didn't do the hideout missions.
Yeah.
And it just won't get a lot of her motivation for doing this stuff. Like, obviously, it makes sense if he did do them because it's like, hey, she was after her dad was a dirty cop working for the Magia, and now she just wants to deal with this whole situation, like clear her name. But I feel like if you didn't do that, you just won't get it. And even if you did, it just felt they could have gone into it a little bit more. But yeah, overall, I just felt like the DLC just felt. Yeah, like you said, a little rushed and maybe a little too quick. Like I felt like we could have used like a whole extra mission, like really explaining the things with Yuri and stuff like that. But yeah, I liked it overall, but I did feel like it wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah, and it did feel a little short as well.
Yeah, and I know that's to be expected with, you know, these DLCs, but I felt like the heist did take me, you know, it took me like an afternoon. This one took me like maybe like 3 hours or so. Like I don't know, I felt like it took a lot less time.
Yeah.
I was happy that we didn't have to play as Mary Jane though. I'm like, I like Mary Jane, but I'm not. I really appreciate not playing as her. Thanks. Also, I like the Miles, you know, to keep the Miles like storyline keep going as well. Like he's like testing out his new powers and stuff like that. You know, he jumped off a bridge or something. And
Yeah, he jumped off a bridge, and I was like, "Wait, what'd you do?"
Yeah, he wanted to test his powers. Let's see how strong he is. And this Peter's just like, "What are you doing, my dude?" So
It's like, bro, stop.
And I do like this overarching thing throughout these DLCs, and you know, obviously, the Marvel Spider-Man 2 is probably going to be like Miles as Spider-Man as a playable character, I would guess. So, you know, that's pretty cool that they have that running in the background. But yeah, overall, I thought it was okay. A lot of the side activities weren't like I felt like the screwball challenges just were annoying.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The stealth ones were just not fun at all. Basically, like you have the dudes that could always just see you, and there's a bunch of them. There's always like two together, so you can't. Yeah, be a little craftier to take them out. But if that wasn't hard enough, they had spotlights everywhere, and you could disable them, but only for like a few seconds with your webs.
And also, that just takes a lot of time.
Plus, it takes a lot of time, and I just find that it just wasn't worth it. Also, your beating time, and to really get enough points to get like all the silver medals to get like the trophy, which is what I did. You still gotta hit all the photo bomb points, so you gotta like totally change what target you're going after at like a split moment because you had to get the extra points. So yeah, it was a pain. I did not like the stealth ones. The combat ones were fine, and I actually like the gadget one this time around, the gadget challenge, because it made you use a web bomb in your concussion blast.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, that was pretty clever. I actually didn't know you could actually do that, so I started using that, and it was pretty effective. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I think that was all the side activities. Like there wasn't really much to this one.
I honestly don't really like the escort because it's legit just the same thing over and over again. You're just following this car, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
that one was. I was just like, I'm not buying it.
I also didn't really like that either. Yeah.
It was just like, you know, obviously it's sort of like a random activity that happens to pop up, but I would much rather just like stop a robbery instantly than have to go to this thing, follow the car for a bit until someone shows up, and then I have to defeat them or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like the crimes should be really fast and like just in and out. Like if you just make me do like even the spider bot from the last one, like the whole like defuse the bomb thing in the heist. I felt like that take up too much time too because like, I just want to play a Spider-Man. Like I don't want to do this. And for a random like event, like it just takes too much time. I feel like those random crime events should just be beat up a dude, like go into one car and like get the dude out and then whatever. Like it should just be quick. So
should be quick and easy, not like oh god.
Yeah, not like a whole process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
overall, I think it's good. Obviously, the ending doesn't really leave much to the imagination. It's very much like, oh, okay, he's not dead.
Yeah,
he's not dead, and then
this is still gonna keep going.
Yeah, and then you're gonna see the conclusion in the next one. Like, it doesn't really leave too much to the imagination. Overall, I just felt like a very middle part. Like it wasn't too much exciting stuff, and I'm pretty sure the ending is gonna be pretty good. But yeah, for this one, it was just okay.
Yeah, but I just find it weird that like it's chapter 2, but they never mention like Felicity and Black Cat other than like the beginning.
Yeah, you're actually right. Like, Spider-Man doesn't seem that concerned that she might be dead. So he's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't think he talked about it that much at all. Like,
yeah,
you think that would get to him a little more?
Mm-hmm. But, another day on the job.
that I guess you're right. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, some people really argued that like they could have, fleshed this out in a comic book more, which I definitely agree. For chapter 2 because we want to know more about Yuri and know about her backstory and all this other stuff, but you gotta play the side missions, which not everyone is going to do, so the story is going to suffer because of that. But at least with the first chapter, it wasn't as it didn't need like this whole thing that was like it could have been better in a comic. No, like that story with him and Black Cat was fine as is. So
yeah, I think they did a better job with the first one just because they expanded more on Black Cat. This one I felt maybe need an extra mission with Yuri to really make it work. So like I really like her character, but I felt like just having her backstory like just delivered through like just talking about it. Like I don't know, I felt like we could have seen it more in action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just a little bit more explaining as to why Yuri has just suddenly wanted to kill Hammerhead.
Yeah, so
other than her losing her entire team, but there's that. So just gotta wait for chapter 3, which should be out by
December,
next month or something like that. Yeah. So is there anything else you would like to add, Damian?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, so that is it for the Two Players Podcast, episode 72. We will see you guys 2 weeks from now with the next episode.
See you.